have been manifesting money for over 2 years now. And if there's one thing that helped me manifest a lot of money into my life till this day, it's helping people. You see, when I began my manifestation journey back in 2022, when I was forced to figure out a path in life, I tried to start multiple businesses to bring in any kind of money into my life. Now, the issue is, out of the 6 businesses that I started, only one was a success. And it's the business that I have been running since December of 2023. And what I learned by running that business for the past 2 years now are a few things actually. The first one being that when you begin to help people, it feels like less hard work and more of a passion project. You see, every time I tried to start a business, one big problem that I faced, and it was a mental problem, is that it felt like I had to be working 24/7. It felt like I had to push and grind. And it was mainly because of the people on social media telling me that if you want to succeed, you need to work hard, you need to grind, you need to do things that you do not love. And the problem is, when I lived by that advice, not only was I not gaining anything, but I was also losing myself mentally. Because for a long time, I used to go to bed very late and then wake up very early just to try and build something of my own, just for me to realize that it's not the right thing to do. Now, I will tell you this, that me working hard did get me results, but it was like a one-time thing only. When I was working for 6 months, and then on the 7th month, I finally hit my so-called breakthrough and assigned a client for a business that I started for $14,000. Now, although $14,000 may seem like a lot of money, trust me, when that money came through, I did not feel happy at all. Like, sure, I was pleased because now I can support my family, but still that $14,000 in my mind wasn't enough, because I had already been working for over 6 months, morning, noon, and night, just for me to get that kind of money. And I know I should be grateful to experience that kind of thing, but when it came through, I did not feel happy because it did not really fulfill the gap in my soul. It felt like, oh, although I did sign somebody for $14,000, I need to double my work ethic just to make sure I now deliver on the results that I promised to that client. And I did deliver on the promise that I made to that client. However, when I made that promise and the time came up when me and that person were no longer working together, I shut down that business because it didn't feel good to me. I didn't like the idea of me grinding just to build something of my own. I did get a few jobs before I started my latest business, one of them being an appointment center and the other working for some social media company. Now, my breakthrough actually came when I worked as an appointment setter, because I was working as an appointment setter. I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but I was working as an appointment setter for someone who ran a business where she would help people, like she would give them advice in exchange for money. And the lowest she would ever charge for her services was $3,000. And all she had to do is jump on calls like once a week with each client of hers and make sure that she goes over the game plan every single week and gives them homework every single week. Now, in my mind, I was like, okay, I want to get a taste of that. I want to try this. Maybe my breakthrough will come from there. So I was like, okay, how do you do this? And then she was like, well, first of all, do you want to do it for the money, or do you genuinely want to help people? And that was very important to me because I was no longer in a position mentally to just do things for the sake of money. If I wanted to do something, I had to do it because I loved doing it. So that person that I was working for told me that, listen, first of all, you need to detach completely from the idea of just doing it for the money, because if you go in with that mindset, then you probably will not make any money. And she was right, because if you think about it spiritually, if you want to manifest something and attract it into your life, you need to detach from it. So you need to try and figure out a way to work without making it about the money. Because if you do make it about the money, then you will always be attached to the idea of just needing money. So if you want to manifest it, you need to let go of it. And by doing something that's more of a passion project, you kind of take your mind out of money and you place it onto the work that you're putting. And since the work that I'm putting in is something that I love and I kind of have a passion for it because I'm helping people, then the money will naturally follow. And when the money naturally follows, it will be double than what you asked for. If you're somebody who's just in it for making 5 grand, but you detach from the idea of making 5 grand, you probably end up making 10 grand. And if you're somebody who's in it to make 10 grand, but you're detached from the idea of just making 10 grand, then you probably make 15 to 20 grand. Every time you do something out of passion, especially when you help other people, the abundance that you begin to get back is double than what you're asking for. Because the action that you take works as a vessel, and that vessel is the thing that helps contain the energy of the thing that you're trying to manifest. So let's say in that case, if you're trying to manifest money, you need to build a vessel in order to have the manifestation energy of money go into that vessel. And if the vessel is something that's pure, something that you love, something that you actually care about, something that's not made for the sake of you, but also for the sake of others as well, then the energy of money will keep flooding that vessel. Because now it's not just about you, it's about other people. If you're selfish with your manifestations, if you're working hard to just be a successful person where you get to show off your money and be a cocky person, then you will never achieve success. And sure, you will achieve success if you do keep working hard, but that success will never feel fulfilling. Because then when you start making 10 grand in your mind, you will be desperate for 20. If you start making 20, then you'll be desperate for 30, and so on and so forth. In your mind, it won't be enough because you'll be like, oh, I want to buy more stuff. I want to get a new car. I want to get a new house. I want to go on that vacation. Whatever it is, you will always be not fulfilled with your manifestation because you're always making it about you. But if you detach yourself completely from the manifestation by telling yourself that it's not just about me at this point, it's about me providing value to the world and me showing my light to the world, then the money will come in double than what you're always trying to manifest, and you will always be fulfilled. Because at that point, you won't just be helping yourself out by going on a vacation and getting yourself some nice clothing, but also you're helping other people get to live better lives. And I'll tell you exactly how you can start helping people towards the end of the conversation. I just want to tell you exactly what I learned by helping others in exchange for money. Now, another good thing about this is that when you do that long enough, your reputation becomes your money maker. There were times when I decided to not really do any advertising for my business. I decided to just keep it about my clients and make sure that I keep working with those people and really focus on their results so I could always have a sustainable business. Because at the end of the day, like I mentioned, if you're doing something for the sake of money, then you'll never be able to give it your fullest. And in return, the clients that you work for will hate you and your reputation will be ruined. But since I'm making it about them, then I will always make sure that I'm running a sustainable business. That will be the main thing that makes sure that my business never fails. So when I made it about them and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna be helping people, focusing on their results. I'm gonna worry about getting new clients later on when the month ends. For now, I just wanna focus on my clients. And when I did that, you know how many clients ended up coming up to me and saying, I have a friend who's going through the exact same problem. My mother is going through the exact same problem. I know somebody who's going through the exact same problem. I would like to refer them to you. Can you take in more clients? There were many times where I'll be like, I'm just gonna make it about my clients, to the point it eventually led to my current clients bringing me clients to work with. There were literally times, it was actually for 2 months straight, where I was running my business completely off of referrals. I was just having people bringing me more people to work with, and I did not spend a single dime on marketing my business. And the reason why that happened was because I finally made it about my clients and the people that I work with and the people who come to interact with me, to the point it eventually led to me having more business, to me making more money, and to me being a happy person. Because now I had so many testimonials that people were willing to pay me whatever amount of money I was asking for. At that time, I was only charging $3,000 and never charged below $3,000 for any of the help that I was giving. But people never cared about the money. They always paid because they knew that I could always deliver on the thing that I'm promising them. Now, here's something about reputation. You could either have a good one or a bad one. You could either make it about you and end up running a failing business and driving it to the ground, or you can make it about the business and the people who come interact with the business, that you actually keep making a lot of money. And by the way, the same thing works when you make content. For example, if you make it about you and just you getting views and you making money from the videos, then your videos will never take off. But if you make it about the people who come and click on your videos, if you make it about you providing value to the people who come click on your videos, even if it's just, entertaining. You could be an entertainer, but if you make it about you, then you will never put out a good piece of content. But if you make it about the person who clicks, then the abundance will start to come in, because again, it's never about you. The success that you bring into your life is not about you. The money that you bring into your life is not about you. The abundance, the prosperity that you bring into your life is not about you. You have to put something to get something. If you put in the bad energy behind your work, then the reputation that you build will be bad. But if you put in good energy by detaching yourself and making about the other person into the work that you do, then the energy will be good and your reputation will be good. And that's what matters most, which is your reputation and your image, because it's the one thing that could make you a lot of money or break you completely. So do not focus about just the travels and the cars and the clothing. Sure, it's nice to have all of that, but in the back of your mind, you should always say, okay, if I want to attract these kind of things into my life, what should I be doing to get that? What kind of person do I have to be to get that? What sort of business should I start to do that? And I know in the back of your mind, you're like, wait, you're telling me I need to start a business to attract money? No, you just need to do anything that could bring you money as long as you're attaching good energy to it. If you're making videos, attach good energy to it by making it about the other person and giving it your fullest and making sure that it's a passion project instead of you just being so desperate to make money from it, and you will end up attracting abundance from it. If you make the business that you run about making sure you provide so much value that the other person is more than willing to just pay you money, then the abundance will always come in. But if you make it about you living a good lifestyle, then you will always end up never attracting any good thing into your life. Now, I know you may say, what can I start doing to start helping people? Like, what's the first step to helping people? Now, here's what I learned. When I worked as an appointment setter for that person that I was working for, I got to understand that it all comes down to one thing, which is figuring out which problem you've been able to solve in your life, whether that be financially, personally, emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever problem you were able to solve in your life, you can monetize the solution that you applied in your life and make money from it. What I got to understand is all I had to do is really just go through my life story and be like, okay, what sort of problems have I been able to overcome? And let me give you an example of what I mean exactly before it sounds a little bit too confusing. Back in November of 2023, I told myself that I'm going to be starting a business only for the sake of me helping others. And what I did was I pulled out a piece of paper and I was like, okay, what's my life? What led me up to the point where I have to figure out a path? What's some obstacles that I was going through during my journey that I could monetize? And as I was writing down my life story, I got to a part where I remembered where I had a lot of panic attacks, stress and anxiety as a person. That stress and anxiety was because of my father. My father imposed on me so many mental problems that I even had my little brother fly out to me and my father just to stay with me and take care of me. And as I was going through these mental issues, I decided to go down a spiritual practice of just meditating and doing breathworks every single day and really just learning more about the mind and how I can control my emotions and thoughts. Because also at that time, I didn't really have very pleasing thoughts, and I wouldn't really wish on anyone to go through the mental problems that I went through at that time. But I don't want to really get into it. I just want to tell you exactly what I figured out from that part of my life. But at that time, I decided to go down a spiritual journey to just take care of myself, because I was like, you know what? If I keep doing what I'm doing now, I'll probably end up not doing very good things to myself. So I started to meditate and do breathworks every single day. I started to become more aware and more in control of my emotions and thoughts. And when I did that for some time, I started to see results. Like I was no longer reacting. I was no longer really attached to the identity of the person who always played the victim, of the person who always cared about people's opinions. I was no longer the person who really had life just come at him. I knew at that time that if I wanted to see life unfold in good ways, I need to take care of myself, despite of what the outer circumstances tell me. And when I followed these practices for some time, I started to feel better. Of course, there was a time when I stopped doing these practices, but nonetheless, I was able to solve my stress, my anxiety, and my panic attack problems using a specific, let's say, protocol on a day-to-day basis. And what I decided to do is go back to that part of my life and write it down on a piece of paper, get really specific on it, like exactly what I did on a day-to-day basis to solve my problems, then package that to help the exact same people who go through the exact same problem that I went through at that time. So by the end of November, I was like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be helping busy professionals manage their anxiety and stress to perform better at work and spend more quality time with their family. And 30 days after starting that business, I made $11,500. And that is the business that I've been running since then. So if you're trying to manifest money into your life and you don't really have an idea of what to do, first of all, I want you to understand that manifestation isn't just about changing your thoughts and feelings, and it's not just about changing your beliefs and identity to finally have the law of attraction bring you what you want. No, manifestation is about you getting clear on the goal, detaching from the goal, embodying the goal as if it has already been achieved, but also building a vessel that can be used so then the light of the thing that you're trying to manifest could finally find a place to go into and as a result materialize. So manifestation isn't about you just doing nothing. You have to do something, but you should always do something that you love, something that you have some kind of passion for, and something that's more about you providing value to the world. So if you're not that kind of person who has really anything that pulls you, like any kind of passion, like art or making videos, if you do not really have a passion for anything, then your best case scenario is helping others in exchange for money. So sit down with yourself, pull up a piece of paper, and just go back with yourself. What kind of problems have I been able to solve in my life? What is it? Is it a physical problem? Is it a fitness problem? Is it a mental problem? Is it an emotional problem? Is it a creative problem? What is the thing that I have been able to solve in my life? What is the big problem that I am able to manage on a day-to-day basis? It could be something as little as you helping your dog become less reactive, or whatever it is that you've been able to solve. Figure out exactly what you have been able to solve, and bear in mind that you can go as far as you could think. There's no such thing as this is not good enough, or this idea will not make me enough money. No. There's a market for everything. People are markets. Okay, understand this about business. I'm giving you a business lesson over here. People are markets. Okay, there's over 8 billion people on earth. There's over 300 million people in the United States. And you're telling me that the problem that you've went through, there's no other person who's also went through the exact same problem? That would be completely foolish of you to think that. No. Trust me, there are people, and a lot of people, who go through the exact same problem as you. So never limit yourself to one thing. Never limit yourself to what people make the most money from. No, never put limitations on any ideas that come up. Whatever comes up in your mind, write it down. And when you do that, tell yourself that I'm going to be helping this person that I can resonate with solve the problem that I've been able to solve, or achieve the solution that I've been able to achieve in either X amount of time, or to experience a certain benefit in their life or in their professional world. And when you make that business, then write down the exact steps that you've taken to achieve X outcome, to overcome X problem. And when you list that down, you don't really have to worry about anything. You don't really have to build a logo. You don't really have to come up with a business name yet. You don't have to do anything. The last part is you putting yourself out there. I know people love not putting themselves out there. And it's mainly because either people think that they're not good enough, that people will actually care about the thing that they share, or they're just very insecure. I want you to let go of people's opinions. I want you to let go of your expectations. I want you to let go of how you think, because your thoughts are not who you are. Become the person who shares his or her light to the world. Become the person who picks up a camera, makes a video, and posts it on social media. Become the person who starts that podcast. Post on Instagram, post on TikTok, share your stories, share your insights, share your experience, share your knowledge to the world. Monetize what you know, share what you know, because trust me, there's always people out there who you can resonate with. And it may not be millions of people, but there is always a group of people that you can resonate with, who are willing to learn from you, to understand exactly how can I also improve my life. And when those group of people come in to work with you, not only will you be happy, but you'll be so excited to help those people that the work that you put in will be good. And as a result, your reputation will be good. And as a result, these people will probably bring you more and more people to work with. And as a result, ultimately, you will be attracting a lot of abundance and manifesting a lot of money into your life. So know this, manifestation is very simple. It's not something that you have to hustle to get done. It's not something that takes a lot of time to achieve. It really just takes a selfless mindset and the vessel, so then that manifestation could finally materialize. I hope I've not been yapping a lot in this chit chat, and I hope that you understand exactly what I'm saying, because My voice could be a little bit chappy because I did have an allergy a few days ago, and I think it's still taking its effect on me. So please don't mind if I look chappy or if my voice is not clear. But that being said, I want you to know that I'm always here to help you. And I'm always here to make sure that you can finally get to achieve what you want to achieve. I'm here to break down the wrong ideas that people in the manifestation world preach. Like, you are God, so you don't have to believe in a God. There's no God because you are God. You know these people who talk about these things? I'm here to tell you that everything that you hear online is BS. And especially one of them being, you don't have to take any action to achieve what you want. You can do nothing and always have what you want come true. That's not true, man. That's not true. That's not how life works. That's not how the universe works. That's not how God set the laws to work. There are laws which you have to follow and work with to attract what you want. And if you work with these laws and not really try to come up with your own laws, then trust me, life will go very smoothly for you and you will attract and manifest money. You will manifest abundance. You will manifest all that you could possibly dream of. Just do not become arrogant. Do not become a person who watches a 30-second TikTok about manifestation and starts to think, I know everything about manifestation. Because trust me, if you did know everything about manifestation, then you probably would not be watching this video. And sure, some of you may know enough about manifestation, you just have not taken action. And you have not taken action because it's either you think you have to work hard or you don't have to work at all. I'm here to tell you, no, you have to work. You have to put in the action, you have to build the vessel, but it has to be a good vessel. A vessel that you love, a vessel that you have somewhat of a passion for, a vessel that can benefit a lot of people, a vessel that works not just for you, but for the sake of everyone else as well. Because I also want you to know that your life can change in the span of 30 days. Because if I started a business in December and by January 2024, I made $11,500, and since then I've been running that business, making over $10,000 every single month and using that money to support my mother, father, and brother, then you can also achieve that kind of success. You just need to stop fighting with the world and getting your mind and your heart straight and making sure that you take physical action to finally materialize what you're trying to manifest. If you have any questions in mind, please comment them down below. I'm more than happy to answer all your questions. And as always, feel free to go watch all my past videos, which I know will benefit you greatly. Please feel free to like and subscribe. And if you also want to work with me, there's a link down below where you can click and check all the results that I have been able to achieve for myself. And if you need help, not just changing your mindset, not just changing your limiting beliefs, but also change your identity to be the person who already has the thing that you're trying to manifest. And also make sure that you build the vessel, like the vessel that I mentioned in this video, to manifest money through it, then I'm more than happy to help you. You can just book a call and I'm more than happy to see how I can work with you one-on-one to change your life.